there's farmers in their 70s I'm working for, and I'll tell you, a lot of them are better farmers than some of the new farmers into the scene. Don't try to fight Mother Nature, for Mother Nature will win. Just like the taxman will win. 25 years ago, people said what they thought, and it was nipped in the bud, and that was it addressed, and it wasn't a problem. Now you have to pussyfoot round people at times.
Years, Barry, of our brand, Grassmen, and people often say to me, you know, we talk about, when I go to shows, one of the conversations you have is everybody wants to talk, you talk about whoever you've been, say, videoing or whatever, and what was your favourite moments and all of this here. And people always say to me they love listening to Barry Reid. He's a man who talks a lot of sense or whatever, and I'm always like, but for me, it's not that Barry's a good talking man. It was green fever, night time, coming through Maguire's Bridge.
A
convoy, like
not even set up. People have tried to copy it, and nobody has ever bettered it.
And no one can understand it. You just money.
But even the music, just yous were new to the game at that, but yous just got it really well done at that. And
look, you know, 15 years later, it's the fact that people do resonate with you. They like listening to, you know, because you've got experience in the game. You've 15 years more experience at this stage, and that's what people like. Because back then, you couldn't make you know, it was a big job to go and make a video like that.
Like people forget. There wasn't really anybody to copy for you.
No.
It's all right for people nowadays. But like you were doing this, you were winging it, but you just winged it very well, and you're very good at it. Like,
and whereas now, yeah, you fast forward a few years, and you've brought it a little bit more about a brand, and you've tried to grow the brand, and you've tried to keep the positive vibe, it's like we chat all the time when we're chatting in private. Business is difficult.
It's getting harder and harder. The fun is starting to go out of a lot of it.
Do you think is that a little bit more because you're a little bit older, or you look at things a bit different?
Society in itself is changing. Everybody has an opinion, be it right or wrong, and even if it's wrong, if a few other like-minded people can latch on to it, people that's completely off the truth, getting it completely, they can actually end up with a pile of power behind them nowadays, and that's the sad thing. Like, farmers are getting rough hassle with the press at times, and they forget the reality. If we don't have farmers, nobody lives. Like, eventually there's no food and people die. Like, we're not trying to poison people. We're just trying to make a living doing something we enjoy, or maybe used to enjoy. I'm just trying to pay my mortgage.
You know, Ireland and the UK, we're under the UK rule as in terms of our business, in terms of how but you know, where did we get it so to the point
the
where
the majority is allowing the minority to rule us, and that is people with uneducated opinions are given far too much power, and people accept it nowadays because it's easier to accept it than actually stand up. Because if you stand up in something that may not be fashionable to support but is actually the truth, you're hounded by other people. You know, and like when people are being hounded for believing in something that is correct, and they're being hounded. That's wrong. That's wrong. And the potential for the loss of knowledge in agriculture alone is phenomenal. And if the general public and the government doesn't sort themselves out soon, the loss, it'll take generations to get back. Like, there's farmers in their 70s I'm working for, and I'll tell you, a lot of them are better farmers than some of the new farmers into the scene. Like, new farmers of this, one, can't accept it when they get something wrong, they have to blame somebody else. And the other thing is they'll buy a potion to sort everything, whereas the older farmers will try to work with nature.
Yeah.
They don't try to fight Mother Nature, for Mother Nature will win. She will win.
But you're
just
right
like
there.
the taxman will win. But that's
You're right there about that. Is definitely we can firmly agree together a society thing where nobody will accept blame anymore. Nobody will say, right, I've got this wrong. Let's tweak this, tweak that, and work on the mix to try and get it better.
work together and sort it.
Everybody's wrong. I did laugh the other day, and I know this is like as if we're going back to politics, and I don't mean it to be, but I couldn't help but laugh at Donald Trump scolding Keir Starmer.
It's the truth.
I know it was the
It's the truth.
but
nobody has the balls to say it. He sat there. People don't like Trump, and I admire the man because he has taken a business attitude into politics. It'll not be tolerated forever, but he's getting away with it at the minute.
Does the system hate him because, you know, a lot of the world problems that's out there and are are made to be big problems.
There's a lot of manipulation by people
Yeah.
behind politicians for their own agenda.
I can't fact check this, but Donald Trump said that we had a big immigration problem here. He's right. That's a fact. And he said that last month not one entered the United States. I'm assuming that's correct, because how would he get away with saying that?
Yes. Well, Donald wouldn't worry much about it, but
if they have taken that, you know, so my point is a massive problem that they had sounds like they kind of have resolved.
Yeah, they can sort it.
And farmers, Donald Trump seemed to get that. The way he spoke about older farmers and they love their dirt.
Yes.
That's the word that they use. And that, you know, he would say to them, "Do you want my big house in Manhattan or whatever?" And like, no, we'd rather be here. So we ended the tax. Again, I can't fact check that, but
We're going into where America's coming out of.
yeah,
And
that's a good way to put that, boy.
no,
Yeah.
it is. We're in for another 4 years of turmoil, and
But it's what could happen in those 4 years.
it's just how far down will everything be decimated, and will the people's resilience is broken. A lot of people's resilience is broken. I would notice locally between our lack of leadership from our Minister of Agriculture for Northern Ireland and this NAP and all the other crazy ideas that feels like townies have came up with, people aren't going to put up with that. They're just going to quit. And like if land's the value of land, like people will quit and sell it. Now whether that's the actual hidden agenda behind the UK government to try and get land away from the ordinary people, because like at times of war and difficulty, if you own your own land, you can feed yourself, you have a certain control over yourself. They just love having people in cities. I can't forget in COVID, them big cities in China, they just put padlocks and tower blocks and people couldn't get out. Yeah. And that was it. It was like chickens.
But I noticed one thing at the Royal Welsh Show. Our stand is directly opposite the British Army stand. Army, Navy and whatever.
Yes.
My oh my. One of the colonels came over and had a good chat with me, and I'm really proud of this. He said that over the last number of years they have been taking videos and following our lead because they've seen how many people we had that came into our stand, and they brought their most up-to-date new style tanks and things like this that you would need a PlayStation to to drive or whatever, and you know you're listening to about how many's on order, and you're like, yeah, well, the bottom line is the British Army's tooling up. Our government's firing money at the army left, right, and centre, and it's scary.
Yes.
It's scary where this is all going and where we're going in all of this, but they had a superb stand. I actually really enjoyed it because you got to touch and play and feel with all the guns and
Yes.
all that. But you know, but we had a real good conversation with some of the lads about, you know, training in the modern, how to train young lads in the modern world and girls, you know, and it's different times, Barry.
Ah, definitely. I'd even see it with staff and that. It has all changed from when I started. I took it over from my father 25, 26 years ago. Just massive change. And like it keeps, everything progresses and changes. Some things are good, some things aren't. People had less money earned back then. It didn't take as much money to have a good time. I would say luxury is better now, but their actual mental well-being and happiness in life was way better back then.
100%. So what are you running to sow your grass seed?
I'm running Moore Unidrill, used to be made up in Ballymoney, one of the best design machines in my yard to do its job. We are running them since just over 40 years. We're running Moore drills. And
What makes that stand out to
seed
you?
placement. Seed placement is...
So Sam Moore got that right?
Sam Moore and his dad just got that right. And Sam Moore, really good drill.
And I'm watching it there, it seems to work well in this type of ground.
Like there's a wee damp corner,
Yeah.
cut up a wee bit turning, and she just smooths all in again. She's just a really good drill. We've had them, as I say, over 40 years. Very good, I find, for seed, for metering it out. And we do everything from stubble turnips or forage rape, maybe at 3 kilos per acre, up to grass seed. We've drilled barley with it at 75 kilos the acre. Like, just really good. And I love the Guppler roller on the back. It gives a dimpled effect. In our high rainfall, it's not completely compressed. It's pressed in points that the water can still soak in without completely capping the top of it. I just find it just a good machine.
Well, you know, there's no desire to go for like the Ernbot or...
No. Listen, I love the width, but we direct drill with this. We do all our grass seed with it, and it just... We do a lot of drilling for people we don't even plough or prepare it for. We just drill for people because it is so good. You have a really good even strike. No need to go in and roll, no need to go in and harrow after. Close the gate after me and that's it, you know. So heavy wee brute of a drill, but listen, 7920 handles it the best. That's because she's on super, them Axio bib Michelins, she's real gentle on ground and just good combination. Be two of my favourite machines in the yard, to be honest.
Have you tried any of the, you know, like, I don't know, I want to get 5?
I had a 215 out, which should be the equivalent of this.
Well,
She was on the same size tyres, she was on BKTs, she had the same front weight block, and she wasn't the same tractor.
Mm-hmm.
This here, way ahead.
We'll get you a 350 down a day.
You get me, well.
We'll get the 900s in her, so we're alright.
Yeah. Oh, you won't bring this tri-axle to Fermanagh.
I will have to get her down. I have no issue.
I have the 8520, we'll get you pulled out again, anyway, don't worry.
Tri-axle's good now.
I would well believe it. Even our 22 foots were more than happy with the travelability in our heavy wet land. Like.
You them up in 650s?
650s, yeah.
Makes a difference, like.
Does. And you know, with the tandem steer, you've still good weight transfer to the back of your tractor for hills.
Aye.
Do we fill them in hills when it's wet? No, we don't. But when conditions allow, you can fill them. When they don't, a half load of a 22-foot Red Rock is still more than an 18-foot Donnelly falling off the sides. So like,
the Smiths have a similar sort of principle. Like, you know, if you send the Smith out half full,
you're still a good load.
You've still a 16-ton cane or herring trailer load away out.
Yeah.
And would you fill that trailer full in a wet field? You wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, you understand what I mean?
Yeah, you're actually bringing more. Yeah.
So people would argue, oh, you're carrying more dirt out. Yeah, but because you're actually putting more in.
Our whole tractors, our New Hollands 245, 270s with a 235 Valtra, with a 7920 John Deere, with an 8520 John Deere, and they're all 240 horsepower plus. You know,
and this is your favourite out of them all.
That's my favourite out of them all. A Blue Power 270, I would like her now. I would like her, but this here, no. This tractor's a bit like me. It's old, but still well fit to do most of the work. You know? So many kids tell me I am old.
You're saying since you took over from your dad 25 years ago, and since 15 odd years of, I suppose, Grassmen being in existence and us being about with you, at this stage, and this is a sign of life, how it changes. You've lost your father now.
Yeah.
And you've changed a little bit in your farming practices in terms of, well, your father was massive in the sheep world.
He used to lamb, he peaked just short of 2,000 ewes a year.
Yeah.
He settled down till about 1,100, and he made more money lambing 1,100 than he did lambing 2,000.
But you've kind of drove on there.
Well,
to a degree.
There is. Last year we lambed just short of 750, and we're probably going to try and go on up to 900. I don't think we'll ever really, no aim at the minute in the short term to go over 1,000.
Yeah.
There's certain times it's easier to deal with a sheep's problems than people's problems.
All they want to do is die by it. Come on.
That's it. And you see, if I don't like a sheep, see if it's not doing its job, I sell it or it goes to the factory, it's gone. My wife keeps telling me I'm not allowed to do that with customers or
no,
staff.
We can't do that.
No, we can't. But you
understand,
understand, like the amount of staff you employ is way more than me, and like people don't understand the mental stress.
We can't just call them.
No, we can't.
We have to try and work with
it. People say, Barry, how do you manage to sort all the problems? I tell them I've the tongue chewed off myself, and they look at me, what do you mean? I say, you have to bite your tongue, for if you said what you thought, you would have nobody near you. But 25 years ago, people said what they thought, and it was nipped in the bud, and that was it addressed, and it wasn't a problem. Now you have to pussyfoot round people at times till they actually see common sense.
But then another thing, Barry, too, you know, and I'm only looking back at the differences. When we first came about, it was literally whippets of kids, whereas now they're involved.
Yes, I started driving tractors when I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I was late starting to drill grass seed. I think I was 13 before my father let me drill grass seed. Nowadays, if you let somebody out in a tractor at 7 or 8, the police would lock you up. Younger people, if they were taught properly at that age, were really, really good and clued in and sensible about safety and all that there. And my father been very careful about that. And listen, my ability for my age would have been good back then. And now my children, I haven't, because of the law. You can't let them do that. And it's a disadvantage when they get older and they do want. You know, kids are they're like wee sponges for taking in knowledge whenever they're younger, and that's a real good time, as long as they understand what's dangerous in that. But listen, that's life. You stick by the rules, and there's no point working your butt off and losing it because of some legal flaw, so you just have to try and do it right, you know. Not that everybody will believe that, but we don't. The girls, they'll hop in with me and that, and the older girl, she'll do a bit on the baler if I'm stuck. She has no interest to do it as a career, so I'm not pushing her into it. It's nice to spend time with your kids, but you be like me, you have a very limited amount of time that you get with your family. I would understand that. Most people think you're just in front of a camera, do the odd show, and you're sitting about counting the lolly after. It's not like that, unfortunately.
They don't even let me count the lolly anymore.
I know. One for Gareth, one for Grassmen.
That sadly doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. I know, right?
Sadly doesn't work.
I still enjoy the work. Ploughing, drilling, mowing, baling, I don't care. I draw grass, I don't care. As long as we're getting customers their work jobs done, they're happy, and hopefully we'll make a few pound at the end of the year. That's grand for it. To be honest, 23 and 24 we lost money. That is tough to stomach when people are teasing you about, new tractors and the cost of that, you must be making a fortune. I'll be honest, it just grinds my gears from the start, and I do get ratty. I tell them, don't go any further, you don't want this. Contractors are pushed into spending hundreds of thousands and bigger ones into millions of pounds on machinery to get the farmers' work done better and more timely, to get it done in the dry weather before the rain. And if you aren't over mechanised for your customer base, you'll struggle in counties like ours where there's a very, very high rainfall. This year we've had a dream of a year for work. No all-nighters, no nice handy days, everything nicely split out.
Just working, machinery, touch wood, very few breakdowns. And it has been nicer mentally for me. It's nicer. Sheep prices are reasonably good. Everything is nearly running the way you want it. So if you've lost money, what did you do?
Well, instead of paying your bill every month, with people, it starts going out further, 2 months, 3 months, maybe longer.
So you find your
cash flow is a nightmare, and I would have certain stages I'll change machines. Some machines had to be changed sooner, because you could have a machine you might owe 10,000 on, residual value offer if you sell her could be 30, 35,000, but the new one could be 60 or 70. So you sell that machine, you finance the new one completely,
and you use your
take your asset worth out of that to throw into your pot of cash flow. And like I'm not proud of having to do it, but listen, I've had to do that sometimes. You were saying earlier about why people sort of would mention about enjoying maybe watching me. I am honest, and as one of my customers told me, he asked me to do something and it's not the way we do it. And I says, that there's a bit of a balls. I wouldn't be bothered doing it that way because, and he went quiet. I says, you maybe don't like me being honest. And the guy turned around and says, Barry, you're not honest, you're brutally honest. Listen, brutally honest.
Said to me one time, you can be right and you can be horribly right.
Yeah.
When that happens, and if it's happened to you, Barry, and you're a very switched-on contractor, this is ultimately what I'm trying to get to here. If it's happened to you, I'm going to lean a little bit further and go, it must happen to everybody.
I'm an outsider looking in on some people's businesses, and I know if I did what some of my competitors did, I wouldn't be in business at the minute.
I understand.
I have survived longer than the majority of people that have started contracting in the last 15, 20 years. As a person, I'm quite good at organising things in my head. I'm horrendous at paperwork, but I'm good at organising things in my head and just break a big problem into wee problems and nip away at it, we get round it. You've always that gut feeling when there's a problem developing. If I get 3 or 4 wet weeks in the summer, I know I'm going to have a cash flow problem. And it's just a full-time staff, they have to be kept and paid. Farmers can't do the work, they want to do it, and it's just Mother Nature saying, no, the weather's not going to be with you, and the weather is my biggest problem by far.
In
Fermanagh. Whose fault is it I'm contracting in Fermanagh? It's my own. So every time I hit a problem, at the back of it, do I blame anybody else? No, I don't. Personally, I always try to have a plan B. Now, this last 10, 12 years, I always try to have a plan B somewhere down the line. It's not always a nice plan B. I find mentally, if I have something there in place, well, if that goes wrong, we'll do this. The simple way, and a lot of times, is have a spare machine to sort some things out. We would have spare machines because of our heavy rainfall in our area and heavy land. we have 4 rakes. Do we need 4 rakes every day? No, we don't.
No.
But if we have 3 wet weeks and we are physically unable to do the work, people do not want to make really wet, bad silage. I understand that. I try to do my best for them, and I have seen us having to do 2 weeks' work
in
3-4 days.
Yeah. And is that where a tractor like this pays dividends? Because at this stage in its life, it's a modern classic.
This here has everything I need.
But it's not losing money.
Really? This is going up, and
exactly.
if I look after it.
Yes.
Now this is looked after really well. It's not abused. My aim is 250 to 350, 100 hours a year doing high value work with it. This does not be on a slurry tanker. It's never been on a slurry tanker. And I have no reason to see it on a slurry tanker. It would draw grass a day or 2 a year.
Yeah.
That were really beat for tractors, just too busy. But this tractor is field work. That's what she's designed for. She's super at it. And you know, Gareth, she's 2004 and she just puts a smile on your face. I don't know when last I switched the radio on in this. You just listen to.
They say there's something about a 7920. I wouldn't know.
I have, as you know, I bought an 8520, and everybody thinks the biggest tractor in the range will be.
No.
The 8520 is no 7920. 7920 is.
But the 8520 is an animal.
She is.
You just destroyed everybody there at the tractor pull.
Tractor pulling, yeah, modern 370 horse Masseys, and now 20-year-old John Deere beat them, and no smoke. I laughed.
On the Deere.
On the Deere. And it's the only tractor. That 8520 is the only tractor I've ever had tractor pulling that you can get 3/4 of the way up the track. You start off. Initially, you go up the gears to get a bit of momentum, and then you always start running out of power. You have to come back down the gears.
No.
And she's a dirty old brute. You'll come down 1 or 2 gears, and you'll get to about the 70-metre mark, and you bang her back up another gear. And she will take it.
She's ready to go again.
She's ready to go again.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
And they're running the same engine, like?
The same engine, but she has absolutely no torque down low. If you see 14 or 15 revs at the tractor pulling, she will be stalled before she'll take the next gear change.
And these 7920s are all auto command?
These are all auto power, and it's
auto power, yeah.
This I think is bought in by John Deere, the auto power. The rest of them were all by the 30s on were all John Deere's own.
On the bigger ones, on the American ones, yeah. The Waterloo made, whereas the smaller ones are still. Like
7930 might be. I think it might actually be a John Deere. I could be wrong. But then the 7930 engine is only a wee piece of chocolate.
But the German-made ones are still ZF.
Is that right?
Yeah. ZF 4-stage very. Oh yeah. So like some i350s, an American-made.
Yes.
Gearbox. No, there's something about a 7920.
The build quality is exceptional.
Yeah.
I don't know if the new Deeres are just as good, but geez, I couldn't get over when I got this tractor. And you started doing wee bits with it, just the sheer build quality of all the components. That it's back like early 2000s. Younger people that weren't about maybe won't understand, but people back then, tractors were built by engineers. Now tractors are built by accountants.
Yeah. And they were 100%. But they took
great pride.
You take like Waterloo, they've their own foundry, they're making their own metal, they're doing everything out there, and I suppose these I call it the Yank made big Deere's cases. I'm not talking about the modern CNH, I'm talking about cases. They all had to be built like tanks.
Yeah.
For that abuse that they were taking every day.
That's the 8520. I'd laugh whenever I got her, I hopped into her. First time I drove her, there's only 3 gears in reverse, and I think flat out in reverse is 6k, like. And she is not designed. She's designed exactly. She's designed for going forward.
I would say some of those tractors, when they're working in their homelands, as they talk about, rarely see reverse.
The only time they'd find reverse is when they go to pull a Fendt out of a wet hole. That'd be it.
Oh, dear, 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 Barry. Shots fired. Well, you said a statement 2 minutes ago. This is a tractor here made before accountants made tractors.
Yeah.
Is there a bit of that in the Valtra, do you think?
Agco. Valtra's probably one of the best out of the Agco bunch to go for. Valtra would be my pick out of the Agco bunch. Definitely, reliability wouldn't be. Now, we have two T5 and an N5, and they have done really well. Our T4s would have had wee weaknesses in gearboxes and things like that, and brakes. Our T5 and N5 hasn't had them issues yet, so maybe
power shifts.
They're both power shifts. Yeah. Funny, the N175, she's just a TARDIS of a tractor. She looks 130 horsepower size, and she's 200 and something.
For the non-Valtra people, the N is like your four-cylinder. So it's like your 130R John Deere. Yeah. It's like your 6 Series Massey.
Yeah, I had a T174 6-cylinder, and the N175 would be supposedly similar horsepower, except from a 4-cylinder, and the N would blind the T for guts and torque and all that there. Really, way better tractor.
Well, Barry, you're still running your FR and your Big M. We know that the boys have been down and they've got film in it. The only thing your FR is missing at this point, if I'm right, because it's a fairly new FR.
Is a new header.
You just haven't got the new header yet.
Yeah.
I know that was a wee sore point, but.
Yeah. Brian McGee knows it's a wee sore point too.
Have you? No, but I'm not even being smart when I say this. Have you seen it in action physically?
I haven't physically, but
It is good.
It is good. It is good. The bigger the horsepower, the FR, the bigger the advantage the new header. So for me to make myself feel better, and Brian McGee told me umpteen times, "Brian, you're 650. She's borderline. Fair play, okay." We never had
Brian.
Yeah, needs to sort it. But to be fair, our pickup on the FR never give us bother, apart from a continual boxes of tines, just forever putting tines.
Yeah.
Which is back to maybe progress with everybody. Instead of a 20 or 30 foot row grouped up in front of it, we're now dumping in 50 and 60 foot in front of the harvester of heavy force cut. And we've now got a merger out there on demo, a SIP, and yet again, I didn't want it to work particularly well, but it's working really well.
Is it?
Tis.
We had one. I liked it, to be honest.
We haven't tried it in heavy crops, but just, you see, been fit to get a 16-foot row in front of the harvester, and my staff, lunatics that they were doing 4th cut for the baler. 7 bales an acre, which is a good crop, and they took the merger out and they set up 16 metres in front of or 15 metres in front of the baler, and the Fusion 3 and 4, no bother. Swallowed it.
I think in terms of mergers, I'm not sure in general we're just ready for them yet, but in terms of the brands that's there, I like the SIP very much, because I think in terms of picking up the grass and transferring it, the Thomas Reiter had done one of the best jobs of that.
He's serious design and his time design,
and that is what bases that fundamental part of that SIP.
Yes.
Then the Reiter machine was relying a lot more on springs and bits and pieces, and it was fairly complex in the screen, whereas SIP seemed to
simplify
that, go to the hydraulic pressure system and added in the Isobus, and actually made it a very, very user-friendly merger. There are issues with merging and types of grass, particularly very short, sticky grass. But for the most of it, I think they're nearly the best combination. I think that SIP is as good a combination as I'm aware of. Well, I think. other than
It's
price?
only one we've run, but I'll tell you, we've had it a couple of days and we can't find a flaw yet with it. Just a real user-friendly, does what it's supposed to do, forward speed better than expected. And now we haven't been in, we did heavy second cut with it, but we haven't been into our horrendous heavy first cuts that we would have been brought up on. Now, to be fair, they have nearly gone out of fashion down here. We have suckler men now take 3 cuts of silage. And like 25 years ago, the suckler men won. And if it took second, they'd have been slagged by the dairy farmer. What do you think you are? You know, but that was traditionally suckler men won hellish first cut in the middle or end of June, and that was it. But that is all changed.
And it just smelled like dead metals.
Ah, yeah.
Whereas that's all changing. But all in all, Barry, other than, you know, the mental strains of trying to run a business.
Any business, not just farming, everything. Life's not simple when you're self-employed. Like.
Would it be fair to say, but you're still living the dream to a degree? With a few nightmares.
Would I change my life in any aspect? No, I wouldn't, because if you changed anything when you're younger, it might turn out different. I'm happy where I am. I've made lots of mistakes along my life. Some things you get away with, some things you're punished for. I have no regrets. And listen, I try to be nice to people. I'm not a greedy person. People just think because I have good machines and making a fortune. I'm not. Everybody was told at school the pen is mightier than the sword, and as far as signing finance, it is. If you keep your payments up, you'll get all the finance you want. Do I want to be all finance all the time? No, I don't. But just there's certain times through life, as I said, 2 wet years, you have to suck it up and get on with it. And I enjoy it. I actually enjoy the farming, but we just hadn't enough land at home for me to farm. I had an interest in machinery. Contracting is a natural decision. Would I quit the farming at home? Probably not. I enjoy it. It's sort of therapy in a crazy way. And I find it very rewarding in a different way. And it's rather than me focusing the whole time on contracting, and then you hit a wet year and people get, you get these bad vibes inside. You have a tunnel, you have nowhere to go, you're running out of money for your payments. And
the dark cloud
we've been there, we've all been there, and that's not a nice place to be. I'm just trying to take all my eggs out of the one basket. And now I could be putting them into a frying pan rather than another basket, but anyway, with the sheep. But sheep at the minute's all right. They're a lot of work. I'd love to milk cows. It was maybe easier.
Layers.
Laying hens, yeah. Just planning permission's your problem there again.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't change my life, Gareth.
You've linked contracting and stress a few times in this conversation, and you've linked farming with therapy.
Yes.
If you had to choose, and you know, which one would you choose? But you've basically said your heart's lying more to the farming.
It'd be better for people's health to farm. I know farmers will find this hard to believe, but
then they're not contractors.
They're not contractors. Contractors will be sitting watching this, shaking their head up and down, going, nodding their head. Yeah, he's right. Farming's not easy either, but it's just
but it's obviously different, Barry. That's what
you can forward load farming and avoid some of your problems. Contracting, I can do that by buying more machinery, but that creates more finance, which creates more need for more income. And Mother Nature comes along and gives you a really crappy wet summer. Us in grassland, you can just knock about 25-30% of your income for the year, and nobody sees it. But unfortunately, I don't make 25-30% profit. So if you're 25-30% short on cash flow, that means you have a deficit at the end of the year.
Do you think mental health is a bigger problem now in this job than ever?
Yeah, no doubt about it. when I started this job, probably naive a wee bit, but it was in my early 20s, and it has been a lot harder and more personal sacrifice than I ever expected. My customers wouldn't, it's not their fault, nobody's customers understand the amount of stress that you can come under just trying to do a job, and freak things go wrong, be it weather, staff let you down, whatever it is, machines let you down. Like, you can buy a machine at $500,000 and the bloody thing still breaks down. Like, it's not, there's no guarantee in life for anything anymore that everything's perfect, but it's, mental health is tougher, and just the cost of everything. If wee things go wrong, what used to be a couple of £100, you can be in the thousands or tens of thousands, like that. My forager costs more than my house. My big M costs more than my house.
Yeah.
You have 25 years to pay for your house. You have 5 or 6 to pay for them other machines, and like, that's the numbers. But is phenomenal.
What will your house have made you in 15 years versus what will the big M?
Well, that depends on me and the wife falls out or not.
Aye, she could be devalued very quickly.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
I have a notion she may get the house and I may get the mortgage. But our Julianne, I'll tell you,
keep her then. Maybe.
I'll tell you, she's as sound a girl as you could ask for she has put up with plenty of stress as well. And I would say, Gareth, that's probably the one bit that has kept me at it. Like, I do joke, well, people think I'm joking. She doesn't want me to quit this, for she's afraid that I wouldn't be happy. And we do actually love each other or whatever, or get on well. We'll have our moments. But she's very, very supportive, and she'd be afraid of me just, not dealing mentally well with not... We all like a wee reason to get up in the morning.
Whether it's a relationship or whether it's a job, if you've done something for a period of time and you delete that overnight out of your life, you are going to change.
You are going to change.
Things will change around that.
We actually are happy, but now people think I'm waffling, talking rubbish. I'll be honest, there about a month ago, I came into the house one night at 9:30. It was still daylight outside, for the month of June. And my youngest Cuddy, who's quite into her tractors and farming, first came over, gave me a hug, well, Daddy, and her question was, are you going out again? And I said, no, I'm home for the night. And she sort of says, Daddy, it's still light, are you not going out again to do any work? I says, no. My kids have got that accustomed to not seeing me during daylight hours, during the summer. Like, it's very sad in ways.
Sad in a way.
It's sad in a way that your kids' upbringing, I do try to involve them as much as I can, but people don't see the sacrifices I have to make, because farmers or the weather, and like, I will sacrifice when the weather's bad, no problem. Now, if a farmer's made a stupid decision and screwed it up, I would always do my best. But like, it has to get to a stage where the farmer has to accept he is screwed up. It's not going to be sorted, because we maybe have 10 other men to do, and just because he made a mistake, it's not my problem, which we would always, as a business, have tried to. But people need to start to live with reality a wee bit and take the pressure off the contractors. Like, I seen an article last year in the Irish Farmers Journal. A contractor's been asked to go and bale paddocks down south, and having 4 or 5 bales for the visit. Like, that is nonsense. And then the farmer, just because he's managing his grass to the perfect level, financially it makes no sense for his contractor to do what he's doing, but he's afraid of losing the rest of the work. And like, even though he might be getting money on the good days at it, it doesn't take that many bad days doing silly things till you're losing anything you did make. And there has to be a bit more common sense come into the whole farming aspect, because I'll tell you, the number of people willing to take on the contractor's role is going to get less and less, for the financial commitment is crazy. and just the stress. People aren't even lasting as long now as contractors are used to, because the ability to lose money is phenomenal, and the stress, and see relationships with girlfriends and wives.
Yeah, 100%.
Most of my contracting friends are separated or divorced. Now, I do joke this is my midlife crisis. I didn't change the wife, I bought a John Deere. But it's sort of...
Sound advice there, Barry. That's advice we can all live by. That has to be a meme. My midlife crisis, I didn't change the wife, I bought a John Deere. Sound. See, that's why you'll go far, Barry.